Gonzaga Nation SI on the Gonzaga Nation Media Network. Dan Dickau here, bringing you a little bit of a recap of some of the summer league action that has taken place. Chet Holmgren and Oklahoma City, they are now 4 games in to summer league, and 2 games Chet played in Salt Lake City. Sat out the third, which is par for the course typically for a very high draft pick. They do a lot of load management in summer league, just trying to learn and teach guys kind of the workflow, the mentality of being a pro, and some of those include what a lot of teams like to call maintenance days. So I'm sure that's what they called it when they took a day off. But phenomenal first game, pretty good second game. First game in Las Vegas was matched up against the number 3 pick, Jabari Smith, with the Rockets, who many people thought was going to go number 1. And a lot of people were really looking forward to this matchup. I don't think either one of them got the upper hand in the matchup. When you looked at it, I don't want to say both players were pressing, but if you were to say one player was pressing, it would have been Jabari Smith, who took 19 shots on his way to 12 points. Chet's one of those players that I don't think he's ever going to try to really force the game upon itself. He always seems to kind of really feel out the game, kind of see what the game needs. And if it's needs to look for transition threes, if it needs to look for a way for him to impact its scoring, he will do that. But typically he doesn't search and hunt that early. Whereas opposed to Smith, I saw him really trying maybe to take it as a personal battle because he was really hunting his shot there. But defensively, Smith was a little better than I remembered watching him throughout the course of the season. He is versatile. He's good laterally. He's got great length. He can block shots, although he's not the shot blocker that Chet Holmgren is. But Chet, just seems to just play with a certain level of composure and belief in himself that is really going to allow him to play through the ups and downs of a rookie season extremely well. I think that's one of the things that may have gotten overlooked a little bit last year because Gonzaga was so good throughout the whole entire year. They really had no lows. Well, in the NBA, when you're going to a team like the Thunder, who are rebuilding with a lot of youth, you are going to go through a lot of lows where you have to figure out, how do you work through it? What type of mentality do you have? How do you grow into a leadership type role? Because, as a number 2 pick, a cornerstone piece of the franchise, that's one of the things they're going to want from you and look for you. So Chet's going to have to figure that out pretty quickly, how to kind of navigate the highs and lows, because there are going to be a lot of lows because of the amount of games that they will lose next year. But I think that also gives you the chance to really learn and grow a lot quicker. They have a very young, talented roster. The one thing I'm going to keep an eye on is, do they have a veteran that can really kind of command that locker room to teach and guide Chet Holmgren and some of the other young guys, or are they going to sign a free agent later in the summer that can kind of be that voice of reason in the locker room? You look at the Miami Heat, they have that in Udonis Haslem. Looks like they're going to sign Udonis Haslem. I believe it's to his 20th season. He came into the NBA right around the same time. I played summer league with him in 2002. He didn't make the team with Atlanta. I went to France, I believe, for a year, came back the very next year, and he's been with the Miami Heat ever since 2003. So those type of guys can be so influential for a guy like Chet Holmgren early in their career to really kind of teach the ways of the NBA and how to manage the highs and lows. But overall, a really good start for Chet Holmgren. And moving on now to the other 2 Zags I wanted to kind of look at and spotlight was with their performances in summer league. Andrew Nembhard, first game looked good, kind of sharing the ball, kind of playing really good in pick and roll situations, finding guys, made a lot of nice reads. You see a lot of the stories that came out, lots of good comments from head coach Rick Carlisle. Coach Norred, the summer league coach, really had some good things to say. but you saw a different player in game 2 as you did from game 1. Game 1, he really didn't look to score. In game 2, he struggled with turnovers early. I believe he had 4, maybe 5 in the first half. Made some adjustments in the second half, and had a really good second half. When you look at the NBA level as a point guard, like him, great in pick and rolls, tremendous passer, really good floor general. If you don't present yourself as a scorer, you shut down your passing angles, your passing opportunities. And so I think what he did really well in the second game was he looked to score. And when you are a threat to score, a threat to penetrate, and they don't know if it's a finish or a drop off find opportunity, you really put the defense in a bind. And I think that's what he did a really nice job of in the second game for the Pacers, did Andrew Nembhard. And that's going to be, tantamount to does he become that second point guard on that roster behind Tyrese Halliburton? Is he going to be a third point guard this year? I think the sky is the future for Andrew Nembhard. I think he's going to have a tremendous long NBA career. And I'm really excited to watch him develop. The third Gonzaga player, Joelle Ayayi, his numbers never just jump out at you. And when you look at his numbers from only the one game that the Wizards, the Hawks have played so far, they don't jump out at you. But when you look at the overall impact of the game that he had for the stretches that I watched, as well as, you look at the plus minus, he was plus 15 in that game. And it was a close win for Atlanta, where they kind of had to pull away in the fourth quarter. But Joel, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He just kind of does a little bit of everything. He's one of those guys who, this isn't a knock. You're not great at anything, but you're really good at a lot of things. And that's Joelle Ayayi. And I think when you look at the roster makeup of the Hawks with Trae Young, a pretty ball dominant guard who can really score it. And then they bring in DeJounte Murray, who I think they brought in to alleviate some of that ball handling and playmaking duties of Trae Young. Because I think if they can put the ball in Murray's hands a little bit and allow Trae Young to play off the ball, I think that can really create some newer, fresher opportunities for Trae Young. Because when you watch him down the stretch of the season, at times he looks worn down because so much was expected of him and so much playmaking responsibility was put on his shoulders. That's going to loosen things up to allow Trae Young to be fresher down the stretch of the season and really expand his game. Well, I think Ayayi fits really well with both of those guys because Ayayi is tremendous off-ball cutter. He does all the little things, hockey assists, great spacing. He's a good, not great defender, but he's got good length where, you look at the length of DeJounte Murray at the point for a stretch and Ayayi at the 2 when Trae Young would be out. That's a pretty good backcourt right there that I like. So he's doing everything he can to prove and show that he deserves another look this upcoming season in the league. I think he's going to carve out a few-year career for sure because his skill set, he's a low maintenance, highly skilled, highly character guy that really adds a lot to a team. So best of luck to Joelle Ayayi, but a great start to Summer League for Andrew Nembhard and Chet Holmgren as well. So lots of games coming up on TV, both ESPN, ESPN2, and NBA TV with Summer League down in Vegas. So for Gonzaga Nation SI and the Gonzaga Nation Media Network, thanks for listening. We'll be back with you soon with some more interviews.